Check, check. Check, check, check. One moment. We're going to finish Numbers today. No Bible study tomorrow. No Bible study tomorrow because we're going to come home. I don't know. I might skip the gym tomorrow and just come home and go to sleep and try to sleep for like 2 hours. What's up, King? Sleep for 2 hours and then do the daytime VK. What's up, Elderline? It's raining outside and it's dark and cloudy. So you see how dark it is in here? My windows are wide open. I need to change my light bulbs. But so it's going to be dark in here. So it's going to be hard for me to read. But we only have 4 chapters left and we'll be done with Numbers. We have the inheritance of Reuben and Gad. And then we have the wilderness journey. We have some of the wilderness journey. Which I've talked about this before. I have this highlighted in orange, so I've talked about it on my Monday night show. I don't know. I don't know what I talked about this before for. But promises of conquest, the boundaries of Canaan, and laws concerning murder, and laws concerning female inheritance. Female inheritance? What the? So that's what we got today. Give chair action. No chair action today. Chair's here, though. All right. I might have to make you a mod, King, because you're a mod on everybody else's channel. You must be a good mod. I'll think about it. Give it a little more time. All right. So chapter 32, 4 chapters left. Let's wrap up Numbers. And just in case anybody new stumbles upon this video, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. I'm not here to wag my finger at anybody. This isn't even really a Bible study as much as it is just reading the Bible. I'm a debater, so there are things that get brought up in debates that I'm going to go into deeper. Certain topics that I like to talk about that we'll go into deeper, and we'll look at different denominations, from Catholics to Protestants to Orthodox, how they look at it. Talk a lot about what atheists say commonly about things and debunking that. And even some wild theories. Sometimes we'll just talk about wild theories that people have about certain things in here. Some people would say I have some wild theories. But there's some things even I'm like, no, that's not true. But I'd wear the wrench proudly and represent you happily, but it's your call, bro. I'm just here for the chair. If we do it, we'll do it during a Friday or a Saturday night stream when there's more people here. We'll make a special event out of it. But yeah, so sometimes if I make comments on things, Doesn't mean I necessarily believe it. It's different views that people have, different doctrines that I've heard. And I'm looking at all the different explanations of it. I'm not here to teach nobody nothing or preach anything at anybody. We're just reading and learning. This is just me doing my morning Bible reading and looking into things. So that's what this is. And let's get into it. We're on chapter 32 of Numbers, and we're going from the beginning to the end. Another reason I'm doing this is because it'll be cool to have a playlist of reading the entire Bible from beginning to end. You can go through the playlist, and in the title, you can look at the title, and you'll be able to see any chunk of the Bible that you want to look into. All right. And sometimes I'll bring up some pictures and some graphics, things like that. Elder rule with an iron fist. Did I miss a comment from him? Oh, he said, I'm a brutal dictator as a mod. I'm only good at modding if you like someone to rip apart Muslims and pagans, and gives a slight nod to everyone who comes in chat. I never say hi. Yeah, I usually don't say hi to people in chats either. People say hi to me, and then I feel like, oh, I need to say hi to them, but I'm usually doing stuff. I just go into chat when somebody says something. Usually the host says something, or a guest on the show says something, and I just want to add my 2 cents into the show. I usually try not to get into discussions with people in chat, especially like debates in chat. Like when 2 people are in chat and they're like having a debate back and forth, I don't like doing that because you can't like do it through text. People in my comments on my shorts and stuff will be like, make these big arguments. What do you think about this and this and this? And I'm like, listen, I do an open panel. You're welcome to come on. I know you're not gonna, but you're welcome to come on and we can talk about it. But I'm not gonna write a novel in my comment section to respond to you. It's not. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm not talking about. I know me and Elderline had a little thing earlier in the week, kind of like this, but I'm not talking about you, Elderline. I'm talking about other people, like liberals and atheists and stuff, who are definitely trying to attack. And that's why I'm so defensive, because I get a lot of that. That Leo mug is great. Should be Ralph just saying. They don't have a Ralph. I would get all 4, but they only have that one at Walmart. It's the only one they got. I don't get it. I don't get it. I would prefer a Ralph. Even though I think, like, ideally, I don't know. I don't really like purple. And I know Donatello's purple, but there should be like a hybrid clone of the best qualities of Ralph and the best qualities of Leo to make the ultimate Ninja Turtle. You know, because Leo's mature leadership skills. Ralph is hard-headed, rambunctious, but strong and aggressive and carefree, ready to fight all the time, where Leo's more calculated. If you could put those 2 together, you got the best turtle. I want to read The Last Ronin. Anybody know about The Last Ronin? We're getting sidetracked. I know if I dealt with Freddie and Kat constantly, I'd be defensive too. And Jalen. And there's been many other people like that have come and go. Yeah, I'm going to start doing pay to mute, $1 a minute to mute people on the panel. That way I don't have to, like, because I know a lot of people, when we're having like good conversations and stuff, a lot of people aren't trying to hear from them. But I do like Freddie, even though I talk a lot of trash to him. And I like Kat. Jalen, not so much. I really don't like Jalen, like, at all. But Kat I like. She's nice. Freddie, he's cool. If you know real Freddie, he's not the character that he plays on the internet. But when there's a bunch of people on the panel, they just get wild and then nobody can talk and nobody can hear anything. So we just do $1 a minute for mutes. I like having and I like having Jalen around because it gives me pushback, so it doesn't become a bubble or what do they call it? People who push back against me. Plus, I say some things that could be construed sometimes as racist, but when they're on, it shows people that like they love me. They're here all the time. They love me because they know I'm just joking. It's fun to talk with him sometimes. Yeah. When he's not, but when there's like 10 people on the panel, he just comes in and he just goes at everybody. But if it's just like 3 or 4 or 5 people and he's on there, you can actually talk with him. Same with Kat. Jalen's fun sometimes because he'll go out and do man on the street interviews and he'll just find random people and he'll be like, talk to this guy. He'll have me talking to random people on the streets. And it's funny. But Jalen is degen straight up. Like, and he's the snake. He's the type of guy that wants you to say something that he can report your channel for. A black truther. He's a pharaoh. We was pharaohs. All right. Enough of all that. We gave it some time to let some people come in. What up, Seasal? Buenos dias, homies. Buenos dias, homies. Seasal is our Bible expert, our Mexican Bible expert. I think she's actually American, but she sounds Mexican. Seasal's based wife, mother. All right. Chapter 32. It's dark in here. It's going to be hard for me to see this. This light isn't really helping me unless I hold it like this. All right, chapter 32. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that, behold, the place was a place for cattle, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spake unto Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth and Dibon, and Jazer and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Elealeh, and Shebam, and Nebo, and Beon, even the country which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel, is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle. Wherefore said they, if we have found grace in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan. And Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? They're saying, we don't want to go to the promised land. Just let us have this chunk of land over here, and we're not going to cross the Jordan and go into the promised land with you. We're going to hang out here. And Moses is like, what happens if we have to go to war? You're just going to hang out over here, chilling? No. And wherefore discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them? Yeah, what happens when you're going to start a social contagion? What happens when the other Israelites see you staying here and they're like, I kind of want to stay with Reuben and Gad. I don't know if I want to go over there. There might be trouble over there. It's going to start problems. This is why we need unity. They need to be united as a tribe, as a nation of people, of one mind. Thus did your fathers when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up unto the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel. Remember that? That's when the spies came back. Joshua and Caleb were like, we got this. Let's go take it. And the other spies were like, oh, they got giants. They got giants and walls and defenses. We can't deal with it. And God said, all right, because you guys are complaining and you're causing mumblings amongst the Israelites, you're going to wander the wilderness for 40 years, and you're all going to die, and you're never going to get to see it, except for Joshua and Caleb. They discouraged the heart of the children. I like that. They discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which the Lord have given them. And the Lord's anger was kindled the same time, and he sware, saying, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, for they have wholly followed the Lord. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. And behold, ye are risen up in your father's stead, an increase of sinful men, to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord towards Israel. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and ye shall destroy all this people. And they came near unto him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our cattle, and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will go ready armed before the children of Israel, until we have brought them unto their place, and our little ones shall dwell in the fenced cities because of the inhabitants of the land. So they're like, okay, how about let us build a little city here. Let us leave our kids and our young here and our women, and then we'll go into the promised land with you in case there's trouble. But then let us come back later. I don't think Moses is going to agree to this. We will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on yonder side Jordan or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side Jordan eastward. Oh, well, I guess Moses is going to agree to this deal. And Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go armed before the Lord to war, and will go all of your armed over Jordan before the Lord, until he have driven out his enemies from before him, and if the land he subdued before the Lord, then afterward ye shall return and be guiltless before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. So they made an agreement. They struck a deal. They wheeled and dealed with Moses, and Moses agreed. But if ye will not do so, behold, ye have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build you cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which hath proceeded out of your mouth. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spake unto Moses, saying, thy servants will do as my Lord commandeth. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But thy servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord saith. So concerning them Moses commanded Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the chief fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moses said unto them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over Jordan, every man armed for battle before the Lord, and the land shall be subdued before you, then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as the Lord hath said unto thy servants, so will we do. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, that the possession of our inheritance on this side Jordan may be ours. And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, and unto half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof and the coasts, even the cities of the country round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon and Ataroth and Aroer, and Atroth, Shophon and Jazer and Jogbaha, and Beth Nimrah and Beth Haran, fenced cities and folds for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon and Eliale and Kirjathaim, and Nebo and Baal Meon, their names being changed, and Shimma, and gave other names unto the cities which they builded. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it, and dispossessed the Amorite which was in it. And Moses gave Gilead unto Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt therein. And Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and took the small towns thereof, and called them Havoth Jair. And Nobah went and took Kenneth and the villages thereof, and called it Nobah after his own name. So they made a deal, and they got some real estate. They said, we want to inherit this land, Moses. W Stream. Thank you, sir. Oh, Lord, there she go with her accent again. I was born here. I was born here. I was born here. I had a surprisingly awesome convo with her and Jeremy in Discord after a stream once. Oh, you guys hung out in there and talked? TPV. What's that? Oh, the name. Moses was okay with that, I think. At first he wasn't okay, but then he agreed to it when they said, look, we'll go with you and we'll fight. The men will go and we'll fight. But then let us come back. And Moses is like, all right, deal. Deal. Good deal. He made a deal that I couldn't refuse. All right. Chapter 33. These are the journeys of the children of Israel. This is the wilderness journey. More wilderness journey. I think this is actually a recap. Yeah, this is going to be like a recap chapter because the Numbers is almost over. The wilderness journey is almost over. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord. And these are their journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with an high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them. Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgments. And the children of Israel removed from Ramses and pitched in Succoth. And they departed from Succoth and pitched in Etham, which is in the edge of the wilderness. And they removed from Etham and turned again unto Pihahiroth, which is before Baal Zephon, and they pitched before Migdol. And they departed from before Pihahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea into the wilderness, and went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, and pitched in Marah. And they removed from Marah and came unto Elim, and in Elim were 12 fountains of water, and 70 palm trees, and they pitched there. And they removed from Elim and encamped by the Red Sea. And they removed from the Red Sea and encamped in the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey, the wilderness of Sin. And they took their journey out of the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Dophkah. And they departed from Dophkah. I wouldn't want to be camping in a place called the wilderness of Sin, by the way. Like, I mean, like this doesn't seem like a good place to stop, Moses. It's called the wilderness of Sin. And they departed from Dophkah and encamped in Alush. And they removed from Alush and encamped at Rephidim, where was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and pitched in the wilderness of Sinai. And they removed from the desert of Sinai and pitched at Kibroth Hatta. Whoa, that's a lot of syllables. Kibroth Hatta Avah. Kibroth Hatta Avah. And they departed from Kibroth Hatta Avah and encamped at Hazeroth. And they departed from Hazeroth and pitched in Rithmah. And they departed from Rithmah and pitched at Rimon Perez. And they departed from Rimon Perez and pitched in Libnah. And they removed from Libnah and pitched at Rizna. And they journeyed from Rizna and pitched. I like how he's Moses is getting better at writing as he goes. Cause like so like if I'm writing like a debate opening, I'll do like usually like a 3.5 essay style, which is your opening statement in your opening paragraph. Your opening paragraph, you express 3 ideas, 3 arguments. And then you have your body, so your opening, your body, and your conclusion. Your opening, you'll state your three arguments, and then each paragraph of the body, 1 paragraph for each of the 3 arguments, and then a conclusion where you reiterate the 3 arguments and you conclude it. Anyway, my point is, when I write these things, when I'm in the beginning of each paragraph of my body, I don't like to say my first argument is, and then the next paragraph, my second argument is, and then in the third paragraph, my third argument is. You got to change it up a little bit. You say, to begin with, I will say this. And then the next paragraph, my second best argument is this. And then in the third one, my final argument is. So you kind of change it up. Moses is doing that here. He's learning to write better. Because it's not just like they got to this place and they left this place. They got to this place and they left this place. They got to this place and they left this place. He's actually changing up the words. They departed from. They removed from. Departed, departed, removed. They're saying departed, departed, removed a lot, but they pitched in. Pitched in. Okay, no, it's pitched in, departed, removed, but then they say journeyed to, encamped in. He's changing up the words, keeping it interesting. And they journeyed from Rizna and pitched in Kehelatha. And they went from Kehelatha and pitched in Mount Shedmer. And they removed from Mount Shapher. And they removed from Mount Shapher and encamped in Haradah. And they removed from Haradah and pitched in Makkelah. So he says removed from and pitched in a lot. But every now and then he changes it up. And they removed from Makkeloth and encamped at Tehath. And they departed from Tehath and pitched in Terah. And they removed from Terah and pitched in Mithkah. And they went from, sometimes it's went from, sometimes it's journeyed from, sometimes it's encamped, sometimes it's pitched. He's changing it up a little bit, you know. Moses is learning to write better. And they went from, or whoever translated the King James, I don't know, Erasmus or whoever translated, he was like, we need to spice this up a bit. Because Hebrew, they had less words, so it probably was just very repetitive. And pitched in Hashmonah, and they departed from Hashmonah and encamped at Moseroth. And they departed from Moseroth and pitched in Bene-Jaakan. And they removed from Bene-Jaakan and encamped at Hor-HaGidgad. Hor-HaGidgad, that's a name. And they went from Hor-HaGidgad and pitched in Jotbathah. And they removed from Jotbathah and encamped at Ebronah. And they departed from Ebronah and encamped at Ezion-Geber. And they removed from Ezion-Geber and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, in the edge of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of the Lord and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt in the first day of the 5th month. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. And King Arad, the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. And they departed from Mount Hor and pitched in Zimonah. And they departed from Zimonah. And they departed from Zimonah and pitched in Punon. And they departed from Punon and pitched in Obath. And they departed from Obath and pitched in Ijeabarim, in the border of Moab. And they departed from Aim They shortened it there, and pitched in Dibongad. And they removed from Dibongad and encamped in Almon Dibla Thaim. Almon Dibla Thaim. And they removed from Almon Dibla Thaim and pitched in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim and pitched in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. And they pitched by Jordan from Beth Jesimoth even unto Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pitchers, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. That's could be an explanation for why there's no capstone on one of the pyramids. So it's pretty accepted that the pyramids were kind of like the Tower of Babel. These pagans, they weren't just tombs. They did have tombs in them, but it was also a high place that they would go to worship their gods or to speak to their gods, which were fallen angels. And Baal, Baphomet, Moloch. It's accepted. I know that I was just listening to Jay Dyer before I started this, and he was talking about pyramids, and he said that these are all fallen angels, and they would go onto the pyramids, and I kind of understood this too. Now, when the Israelites come into a new place, God tells them to take down their high places. Now, you may not be able to rip down a whole pyramid, but if the capstone is the highest point of the pyramid, you could get a dinosaur to pull the capstone down so that the worship place, the highest point of the high place, where they speak to their fallen angel gods, their false gods, you rip that down, and it's kind of symbolic to say, no more talking to that demon. First, second, and third sounds elementary. It's elementary, dear Watson. So they could have used I don't know. By now, they probably don't have no more dinosaurs. By now, they probably don't got no more dinosaurs. So they just got to climb up there and shove the rock off the top. You shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families. And to the more ye shall give the more inheritance, and to the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falleth. According to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit. But if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein you dwell. Based, God. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them. So if you don't get rid of all of them, if you let any of them live, they're going to become thorns in your side. And we see this now. This is going to sound really, would this be xenophobic, I guess? Not really xenophobic because I'm talking about the natives, but when we came to America, Christians looking for a place to settle, we come to America, we left, we did not do a G-side. You know what I'm talking about? Geno. I don't want to say it for YouTube's sake, but we did not do that. That's not what happened. Actually, we befriended a lot of the noble savages here. What up, Chris? And we let them stay. And now they're pricks in our side. They're thorns in our side. You got to have reservations and can't have your pipeline on this native land, and it's stolen land, the evil colonizer white man. See, God told us how to handle this in Numbers and in all throughout the Old Testament. You don't leave people. When God gives you land, you clear it out. You clear it out. Because otherwise, if you leave a little bit of leaven leavens the whole loaf. One bad apple spoils the bunch, so to speak. You got to cleanse the area. Can't be having, you let a little bit stay and it grows and it grows and it festers and it swells. It's like the leprosy. It's rot. That sounds really, that sounds bad. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? What up, Crook? All right, chapter 34, the boundaries of Canaan. I'm a noble savage. Are you 164th% Native American? Well, I know that's what happens when you leave them, when you leave some, then your people breed with them, and then it becomes a melting pot, which is a communist. This is not a political show. Anyway. Chapter 34. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land of Canaan, this is the land that shall fall unto you for an inheritance, even the land of Canaan with the coast thereof. Then your south quarter shall be from the wilderness of Zin, along by the coast of Edom, and your south border shall be the outmost coast of the salt sea eastward. And your border shall turn from the south to the ascent of Akrabim, and pass on to Zin. And the going forth thereof shall be from the south to Kadesh Barnea, and shall go on to Hazaradar, and pass on to Asmon. And the border shall fetch a compass from Asmon unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of it shall be at the sea. And as for the western border, ye shall even have the great sea for a border. This shall be your west border. And this shall be your north border. From the great sea ye shall point out for you Mount Hor. And from Mount Hor ye shall point out your border unto the entrance of Hamath. And the goings forth of the border shall be to Zadad. And the border shall go on to Ziphrone, and the goings out of it shall be at Hazar Enan, and this shall be your north border. And ye shall point out your east border from Hazar Enan to Sepham. And the coast shall go down from Sephon to Riblah on the east side of Ain, and the border shall descend and shall reach unto the east side, unto the side of the sea of the Chinnereth eastward. And the border shall go down to Jordan, and the goings out of it shall be at the salt sea. This shall be your land, with the coast thereof round about. And Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which the Lord commanded to give unto the 9 tribes and to the half tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance, and half of the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. So 9.5 tribes are going to possess the land of Canaan. 2.5 tribes are going to stay in Gilead on the other side of the Jordan. The 2 tribes and the half tribe have received their inheritance on this side, Jordan, near Jericho, eastward toward the sun rising. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, These are the names of the men which shall divide the land unto you: Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun. And ye shall take 1 priest of every tribe to divide the land by inheritance. And the names of the men are these: of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh; and of the tribe of the children of Simeon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud; of the tribe of Benjamin, Eliad, the son of Chislon, and the prince of the tribe of the children of Dan, Buki, the son of Jogli, the prince of the children of Joseph for the tribe of the children of Manasseh, Haniel, the son of Ephod, and the prince of the tribe of the children of Ephraim, Kemuel, the son of Shiftan, and the prince of the tribe of the children of Zebulun, Eliazaphan, the son of Parnach, and the prince of the children of Issachar, Paltiel, the son of Azan, and the prince of the tribe of the children of Asher, Ahihud, the son of Shelomai, and the prince of the tribe of the children of Naphtali, Pedahel, the son of Ammihud. These are they whom the Lord commanded to divide the inheritance unto the children of Israel in the land of Canaan. Chapter 35. We only got 2 chapters left in Numbers. Pain zombie ghosting. Good faith. Good faith. Thank you, sir. All right. Chapter 35. I've never seen you hear pain zombie ghosting. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. We're just reading the Bible. We're just reading and learning. Chapter 35. This is laws concerning murder and laws concerning female inheritance. It's a good chunk of chapter right here. Some laws. Could be some interesting stuff here. What do you do when they murder a guy? What do they do when they murder a guy? All right. And laws of female inheritance. We kind of talked about female inheritance with the 5 daughters of that guy who died, and he had no sons. I forget his name. That was yesterday, I think. And how they got an inheritance even though their father was dead, and they made laws about female inheritance. We're going to talk more about female inheritance in this chapter. But first, we're going to learn about the laws concerning murder. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possession cities to dwell in. And ye shall give also unto the Levites suburbs for the cities round about them. And the cities shall they have to dwell in, and the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle and for their goods and for all their beasts. What kind of beasts did they have? Dinosaurs? Maybe. And the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about. And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst. This shall be to them the suburbs of the cities. And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities for refuge, which ye shall appoint for the manslayer, that he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities. What does that mean? Numbers 35:6. Who's the manslayer? Numbers 35:6. Let me look this up real quick. What does that mean? Is that like a murderer? City of refuge, 6 of the towns. Let me go back. Yeah. 6 of the towns you give to the Levites will be cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone may flee. Why would you set up places for murderers to flee? Let's see. Meaning. The cities of refuge were part of the total of 48 cities given to the Levites by God. The cities were located throughout the land of Israel, so that a person who killed someone could reach one of them within a half day. The cities were Levitical cities, and the Levites were responsible for maintaining the cities and roads to them. The cities were a place of safety for people who had unintentionally killed someone. The cities were also a place where people could be taught about the Lord and receive help. Murder refuges. Sort of asylum, of which there were many among the heathens, perhaps an imitation of these, for persons to have recourse to for safety. When in danger of life, the Septuagint render the words cities of flight, or to flee unto, which certainly was the use of them. Of this the apostle alludes when he speaks of some that fled for refuge to lay hold on the hope set before them. Hebrews 6:18. The word used for refuge signifies gathering or receiving, for here persons in distress gathered or betook themselves, and here they were received, retained, protected, and sheltered. What and where these cities were to be and where is after shown. Which ye shall appoint for the manslayer. So it meant what I thought it meant. Not for any and everyone, not for one that killed a man presumptuously and purposely. So no, this is for like manslaughter, manslayer, manslaughter. Huh. Sounds very similar, huh? So if you accidentally killed somebody, or maybe in your anger you hit somebody and they die, basically not premeditated murder, not like plotting on somebody, not like serial killers, but people who manslaughter, manslayers, manslaughter. There were cities of refuge where they could go, because if they stayed in their own city, people might stone them to death. Like, even if it was by accident, the people's anger might be kindled against them and they might attack them. So there was a place, and it had to be a half day's journey from any place. If you accidentally killed somebody and everybody looks at you and says, "Get him," you need to be able to go to this place of refuge where they can't hurt you. And you can go, you can confess, you say, "I didn't mean to kill him. We got in a little fight. I pushed him. He fell and landed and hit his head on a rock. Forgive me." It's kind of based. Now we just put people in prison for manslaughter, which is probably worse for them. They're just going to... I knew cities was sus. Makes sense. They'd be struck out from their homes when they killed, but needed a safe place since it wasn't intentional. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Where was I? Sojourner. Where was I? Manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation. Okay. Then ye shall appoint refuge. Where was I? Okay, yeah. I'm on verse 7. So all the cities which ye shall give to the Levites shall be 48 cities. Them shall ye give with their suburbs, and the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel. From them that have many ye shall give many, but from them that have few ye shall give few. So the more population you have, the bigger chunk of land you get. Everyone shall give of his cities unto the Levites according to his inheritance which he inheriteth. So it's a church tax. The church is levying a tax, just like they do in Finland. Church is taxing instead of the government taxing. I'm pro that. I've argued that we remove 501c3s from church. But the reason I argue for that is so that the church will be inclined to get more involved with the government. If the government's taxing the churches, then the congregation and the church leadership is going to be more inclined to get involved with government, instead of this mindset that we have now as Christians of like, oh, I don't like politics. I don't like getting involved in politics. Christians shouldn't get involved in politics. I'm not a fan of that. I think the church should be entrenched in the politics of our country. And, but if you had a system like this where the church, where the priests and the tabernacle is the basis of the nation, and every citizen is part of this one uniting church, then the government doesn't do taxes. Now the church levies the taxes, and it's essentially a tithe. But they said the Levites maintain the roads. The Levites protect the murderers. The judges are appointed by the church. I say church, I mean it's essentially a church. You want all religions involved in well, no. No, not, I don't. I want a religion involved. I'm fine with like you could have you can have like a Muslim country where they have Muslims running the country. That's fine. As long as we got borders and big walls and moats with sharks with lasers on their heads. I'm cool with that. But no, I want the Christian church. Well, see, that's the problem. Well, no, it's only a problem if you have a constitution that says there will be no government religion. If we have a Christian government religion, Muslim churches or whatever they call them exist here, not for long. not under my theocracy, they don't. Nope. Nope. No, it would be kind of like this. It would be kind of like what we've been reading over the last few days. You do your Moloch worship. If you're a stranger in this land and you do your Moloch worship here, off with his head. They call them 7-Elevens. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. But you can have your land. You just can't do it here. You can have a place. It's just going to be another country. And then you can have your little Buddhist country over there. You can have your little Hindu country over there. You can have your little Muslim country over there. We have a Christian country over here. And the strangers are welcome. You're welcome to come here and be a stranger. But you're going to have to assimilate. You're going to have to take part in our traditions. And in time, you're going to see the right way. You're going to be like, you know what? I was living over there in that Hindu country and they were all pooping in the streets. And I was living in that Muslim country and they were like murdering guys just all the time. They were just murdering, blowing up stuff. And then I come over here and yeah, at first I didn't like it, but I assimilated. I followed their ways and everything's better. It's great. It's a great place to be. Yep. All right. Levites, according to the inheritance which he inheriteth. Verse 9, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye come over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares. So on accident. Manslaughter. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation in judgment. And of these cities which ye shall give 6 cities, shall ye have for refuge. Ye shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan, and 3 cities shall you give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities, tongue twisters, these 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. So, if you got a freaking axe in your hand and you hit somebody with it, you can't be like, well, it was an accident. I didn't mean to kill him. What do you mean? You hit him with a freaking lead pipe over his head. Of course he's going to die. You're a murderer. That's not a manslaughter. You shall surely be put to death. And if he smite him with a throwing stone, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with an hand weapon of wood, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. So if you're using a weapon, you can't say it was an accident. You can't say, I didn't mean to kill him if you're using a weapon. If you got an AR-15 and you empty a clip into somebody, you can't be like, that was an accident. No. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. Oh, wow. That's an interesting one. The revenger of blood. I don't know if that means like a family member, maybe his wife. Who's the revenger of blood? Numbers 35:19. I'm assuming it's like a family member or something. Numbers 35:19 meaning. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death. When he meets him, he shall put him to death. Outlining the duty of the avenger of blood, the nearest relative of a murdered person, to execute the murderer. Dang. Somebody said that in VK before, and I was like, that's kind of based. That's kind of a good idea. So, like, if somebody kills my wife, then I can just kill them. Next time I meet them in the streets, we take it to the streets. I could take you out. In biblical law, the avenger of blood, in Hebrew it's Goel Hadam, was the nearest male relative. So not women. So it's like if I have a wife and I get killed, my wife doesn't go murder the guy. Also, that's not realistic. She's going to get killed herself in the process of trying. But like my brother, and me and my brothers, we're all tough sons of guns, all right? So like my brother could just walk up and take him out. Daddy Jub or Ben, one of them's going to come and take whoever murdered me out, or my son, my imaginary son, who may exist one day but doesn't right now. Because real men make boys first. Or my father, if he's not too old, could avenge me. That's based. The duty to execute. When the avenger of blood encountered the murderer, they were obligated to put them to death, ensuring that a life was taken for a life. So it's not even an option. It's not even an option. Justification for capital punishment. According to some interpretations, this was not an act of murder, but an act of capital punishment which God had ordained before the law in Genesis 9:6, and Moses had reaffirmed it under the law in Exodus 21:12. Right. It's a justified killing. It's not a murderer. It's not a murder. The murderer murdered. The avenger of blood, which is a cool superhero name also. The avenger of blood is not murdering. They're killing. This verse is part of a section in Numbers 35 that addresses the legal and practical issues of accidental and intentional killings, including the establishment of cities and refuge and the role of the avenger of blood. This is not a form of vigilante justice. Some interpretations explain that the purpose was to ensure justice for the family and to maintain order within society, not to encourage vigilante justice. Based. I didn't know one was obligated. Well, to be fair, that's what this says. What's the source here? Because this is AI telling me this, but let me see what the source is. The sources it's giving me is gotquestions.org, Bible Study Tools, and defendinginerrancy.com. So Got Questions is pretty cool. They're kind of soft sometimes, I think. Kind of a little bit of softness sometimes in Got Questions. Bible Study Tools is good. Defending Inerrancy is the first source, and I've never heard of this website. It is a .com, defendinginerrancy.com. Problem, God forbade murder in Exodus 20:13. Yet here he says the avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death. When he shall put him to death. So solution, first of all, this was not an act of murder, blah, blah, blah. Only to be done to a murderer, not simply to anyone. Also, the avenger had to be the nearest relative, not just anyone who wished to take justice in his own hands. In short, what is forbidden in Exodus 20 is the recognized crime of murder, and what is permitted in number 35 is recognized responsibility of capital punishment. These are not in conflict. I agree. And it doesn't say you have the option. It says you shall put him to death. So it does seem obligatory. Intriguing. Now, of course, people will say, well, Jesus came and gave the fulfillment of the law and said, turn the other cheek. Is that a contradiction? Here's something I have not heard anybody say in VK. When Jesus says he without sin cast the first stone, and he stops the adulterous woman from being stoned, she wasn't a murderer. She had just committed adultery. So just because Jesus stopped that one capital punishment from happening does not mean, this is like people take this little bit and they take it a mile. It doesn't necessarily mean, it could. I mean, it's possible that Jesus was entirely against capital punishment. I'll say it's possible he was totally against capital punishment. But it's also possible that he was just against that specific capital punishment for that specific crime. Jesus might have just thought she committed adultery, but she's not a murderer. Whereas a murderer, we don't know, but it's possible that Jesus might have been like, yeah, he's a murderer. He murdered a guy. And we're told you got to kill him. But we don't know that. And I actually read a thing about that, that posed that argument that basically we don't know. If you look into it, in the New Testament, it does not specifically say anything against capital punishment. But it also doesn't say anything specifically for capital punishment. There's Romans 13, which to me sounds pro capital punishment. And then there's the story of Jesus stopping the adulterous woman from getting stoned. That seems to be against capital punishment. So there is a debate to be had there. It's not just black and white. And if you ever watch BK, that debate has had a whole lot. It's been had many, many times. Let me see. Where was I? He shall be unto. Oh, I was at 19, right? We were just looking at 19. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by laying of weight that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand that he die, he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. Okay, they kind of lost me there. And if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by the laying of wait, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die, he that smote him shall surely be put to death. Numbers 35, 20 through... Let me look into this real quick. Because that part got a little convoluted. I'm trying to think of... Is it saying that the revenger of blood can't be like hiding? They need to like just walk up to him in the street and be like, hey, it's time for you to die. And they're not allowed to use a weapon? What is this? Is it combat? What the? Numbers 35, 19 through... Revenger of blood. This is just more of the same. Trying to look about something. Somebody made a video about this. This is an interesting... This would be good to do like a deep dive into one day. The Avenger of Blood. I could probably do a whole hour on this. We're not going to get too bogged down with it now, but maybe I'm going to make a note to come back to this later. Because there's a lot of rules here. So I'm just going to read it for now and make a note. And maybe another day, it's just an idea for a future show. The Avenger of Blood. Later deep dive. We're not going to do a deep dive right now. We got the basics of it, but now it's just getting a little, there's a lot of different stipulations and things. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of wait, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. Oh, I think it's saying it's going back to the manslayer. So if it's saying if somebody is not your enemy, if somebody kills somebody and the person they kill is not their enemy and they didn't attack them with a weapon and they didn't throw a rock at them or they didn't jump out of them from the dark, if it's manslaughter, then there is no revenger of blood. So, and this is why they have the cities of refuge, because when you have this avenger of blood stipulation in your laws, let's say I accidentally manslaughter a guy, and then his brother is like, yo, you just murdered my brother, and then he comes to kill me, then he's not allowed to do that. You don't get to be the avenger of blood because I accidentally murdered him. So we need to go to court, and I need to plead my case, and I need to say, hey, I didn't have a weapon. I didn't throw a rock at him. I didn't jump out of the shadows and attack him. He's not my enemy. It was an accident. Then there's no avenger of blood. His family member doesn't get to kill me for that. And if his family member does kill me for that, he manslaughtered a guy. If the family member does play the role of the avenger of blood because of a manslaughter or a manslayer, unawares, then the avenger of blood is a murderer now. And he'll be punished for it. I think that's what it's saying. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it's saying. Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer. When it says slayer, manslayer, this is a manslaughter, not a murderer. The slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whither he was fled, and he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled, and the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood. So if you accidentally kill, if you accidentally kill my brother, I'm not allowed to just murder you. I need to let you go to the city of refuge. Talk to the courts. They say it's manslaughter, but you're not allowed to leave the city of refuge. And if I catch the person who killed my brother, even if it was an accident, outside of the city of refuge, then I can kill him. Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. But don't have fun when you do it, guys. Yeah, you best hide. You best stay in the... Yeah, you accidentally killed my brother, you best stay in that refuge city. You better not leave. And he shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Defile not thereof the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I the Lord dwell among the children of Israel. Base. That was deep. That was deep. All right. All right. Chapter 36, last chapter of Numbers, laws for female inheritance. What a chapter to end on. Does anybody really care about this? No, I'm kidding. Seasal cares about this. Seasal, you get some inheritance, okay? We're not going to leave you high and dry. You get the last chapter in Numbers. And the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spake before Moses and before the princes, the chief fathers of the children of Israel. And they said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, unto his daughters. Zelophehad was the one who had 5 daughters and no sons. And so we already covered this in a previous chapter, but they're just going to reiterate it. So now that they've got to the promised land and they're setting up the promised land and the laws in it, now we're going to resolve this problem with Zelophehad's 5 daughters, what their inheritance is going to be. If you come back, we'll kill you. And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, Then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our fathers, and shall be put into the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance. And when the jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put unto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received. So shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. And Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of the Lord, saying, The tribe of the sons of Joseph hath said well. This is the thing which the Lord doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, Let them marry to whom they think best. Only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe, for every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance. No mixing. Don't be mixing around now. Even as the Lord commanded Moses, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. For Mahlah, Tisra, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Noah. The daughters of Zelophehad were married unto their father's brothers' sons. Hold up. Fathers, brothers, sons. Their nephew? They married their nephews. Remember, I mean, you're allowed to do that in some states in America still. Like second cousins, once removed, right? That ain't so bad. It's not like they married their brothers. Their father's brother's sons. That's their that's their nephew. And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the sons of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their father. These are the commandments and the judgments which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses unto the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is let's go right back to that real quick. Okay. Now, I think this is specifically for Zelophehad's daughters because he didn't have any sons. So they said, well, what about his inheritance? His inheritance is supposed to go to his sons. He doesn't have any sons. Are you just going to cut us off from the tribe of Israel because we're women? We don't get. What's up, Moses? Talk to God. Holler at God and say, hey, do we get a chunk? And so this is the compromise because they shouldn't. Really, the inheritance is supposed to go to the firstborn son, but he didn't have no sons. So there's a compromise. God says, you can inherit what Zelophehad was supposed to inherit, but you're going to have to keep it in the family. They were only allowed to marry their family members, but just them, right? This is just talking about these 5 girls, right? Or is this talking about all the women? It reads like this is specifically talking about them as a compromise so that Zelophehad's inheritance stays. Because if the girls, and this is why the boy gets the inheritance, because it doesn't matter who he marries, he still carries the lineage on through himself, and it still stays within his lineage. But if these girls go out and start marrying all these different dudes, Zelophehad's inheritance just gets divided up among 5 different tribes. So to keep that from happening, God says, okay, you can have his inheritance, but you're going to need to marry men within that tribe. I think that makes sense. so that we can maintain. God was just and fair and gave them the inheritance. Yeah, he gave them the inheritance. But is this talking about all the women can only marry within their own tribe, or just these five girls? I think it's just talking about them. Numbers 36 meaning. Numbers 36 addresses the concern that daughters inheriting land, as decreed in Numbers 27, might lead to a tribal land fragmentation if they marry outside their tribe, and therefore outlines that daughters inheriting land should marry within their father's tribe to maintain land within the tribe. That's what I just said. Yeah, I got it. See? I'm not doing my own exegesis. I'm just reading it, and I know how to read. And I know how to interpret what the Bible's saying just using common sense most of the time. And if I don't understand it, then I can go to the experts. But for the most part, if you know how to read the Bible, you can usually put together these things on your own. You don't even have to do any sort of crazy exegesis. You just read it, and it's usually what makes sense. And that makes sense. It makes sense. They don't want the land. They don't want these women running off with the 5 different tribes, and then Zelophehad's land, his inheritance, is divided up between 5 tribes. They got to keep it. That's the whole point of the inheritance, going from the sons to the sons, is that it stays. The son could marry a woman from outside the tribe, but it's still his father's land and his father's father's land, and then have another son, and he could marry another woman, and it's a patriarchal line, which is weird. It must be some new, like, Talmudic, rabbinic, something that happened in Judaism where now it's like a matriarchal line where it goes through the mother's bloodline. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, modern day Judaism is through the mother. That doesn't seem biblical. That doesn't seem. So we're almost done with the Torah, essentially. That's not what the Torah says. It's not what the Bible says. Why do modern Jews do it through the mother's bloodline? It should all. That's just feminine. That's matriarchal. Josh is interpreting on his own. Blasphemy. Yeah. Knowing how to read things is blasphemy. Yeah, I guess. Lord forbid you read something and you're able to interpret. Imagine if we did that with everything. Like, I can't watch a movie without, like, I gotta call the director. I watched Flight Risk yesterday. Good movie. Cool ending. I liked it. Very good movie. But imagine if I watched that movie and before I could even, like, give an opinion on it, I had to, like, talk to Mel Gibson. That would be cool. I would like to talk to Mel. But I have to be like, Mel, what did you mean by this part? Instead of mysterious ways. No, it makes total sense. What doesn't make sense, what I'm still, like, messed up about, is why modern Jews go through the mother's bloodline. That doesn't make sense. Seems like over 2,000 years, something was twisted through the mother's blood. Through the mother's line is not biblical at all. Facts. It's because most of the European jays are products of Catholic grape. Whoa. Okay. Okay. That's wild. But yeah, I definitely see that somewhere over the past 2,000 years and with the Talmud, something happened there. But I think that's prophesied in the New Testament. I actually know it is. I know it says it's in Revelation. It's in other parts of the New Testament. It says the Israelites now and the Israelites to come are not how they're supposed to be. I got to be real careful what I'm saying right now. Even though we are doing Bible talk, so we're doing a lot of talk about Israelites, the whole past chunk, and we still got a lot more to come, is all about the Israelites. So I kind of can't avoid it. I have to talk about it, but it prophesies that the bagels of the future are not the Israelites of the Old Testament. And even the Israelites of the Old Testament were not that great of people at many times. Like, as we've seen, they're constantly running off with some dang Midianite women, worshiping a little Moloch here and there, grumbling and mumbling and complaining all the time. But even they're not as bad as the modern one. The modern ones are just, everything's been totally twisted on its head. It's wild. But that's the book of Numbers. We're done with Numbers. Not tomorrow. Again, tomorrow there's a daytime VK. So I will be live when I do that. Hopefully we get knocked out early. Hopefully either somebody fatalities me early, or I'm just going to like push people's buttons and be like, put me in a one-on-one chat. I want a one-on-one with everybody today. And hopefully somebody can stop me so that I don't win tomorrow during the day. Because if I win the daytime one tomorrow, I'm probably not going to win the nighttime one. Chat's going to be less inclined to vote for me to win the nighttime one if I win the daytime one. So I want to lose the daytime one tomorrow so I can go to bed, get some sleep, and then give it 100% on the nighttime one. Because that prize money is looking real nice. That'd put me almost at my new computer. Right now I have all the money I need for the new computer except for a processor and a graphics card. I could buy everything I need right now. Case, power, cooling, RAM, motherboard, hard drive. I kind of want 2 hard drives. I want to get like a 4 terabyte solid state drive, and then I want to get like a 16 terabyte 7200 RPM disk drive. And use the big one to just store like music, videos, catalog videos, files, pictures, stuff like that. Just have a big old hard drive that I never have to worry. Games that I'm not really playing, so that I don't have to always re-download them. I can just put them on a big old hard drive. And then the solid state drive will be, hey, thank you. Computer, I only donate to the chair. Well, the chair wants a new computer. Chair is with me. Right, Chair? You want a new computer? Chair wants a new computer. But I almost have enough funds for the whole thing. But that would that prize money is the processor. That's the price of the processor that I want. Just about. So that nighttime prize looks real nice. Thank you for HP Nubcraft. Chair appreciates it. But we'll see what happens. I don't care whether or not we win or lose. I just think it's fun. So we'll have fun regardless. But we won't do the Bible study tomorrow. I will be doing VK. And then we'll do the nighttime one. Then we'll do the after panel as usual. Saturday, fight night. I haven't even looked at the fight card for this weekend. Is there even a fight card this weekend? it'd be nice to have a weekend with no fights so I could start late and I could clean my. I need to do some. I gotta sweep and mop and vacuum. I need a woman for that. Uh, Fight Night 254. Yep. Marvin Vittori, and Roman Dolidze. How do you say his name? He's good. Everybody else on this card, I don't really know anybody on this card except for the main event and the co-main event. And the main event starts at 5 p.m. So we might not even be watching the fights on Saturday because I might not wake up. I probably won't wake up till like 7. So I'm probably going to miss the fights on Saturday. Doesn't look like. I don't know. Sometimes the no-name dudes are the best fights. You know, sometimes on these fight nights, you get some crazy fights. The prelim card starts at 2 p.m. Yeah, I'm not going to be watching that. So Saturday night, fight night, we might start a little later, like 8 p.m., and just not do any fight commentary and just go straight to the panel. But that's the plan for the weekend. Seesaw, chair keeping the channel up. Let's go, Seesaw. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't even ask for donos during the Bible studies, but thank you. I will not decline it. That's the schedule for the weekend. And then Monday night, Dreaded Conservative Show. Tuesday, we will be back and we will begin Deuteronomy, the last book of the Torah, the last book of Moses. Deuteronomy, the second law, Deutero law, the second law. So, which a lot of our Constitution, our laws come straight from Deuteronomy. Another one. This is for the trip to Romania so Josh can get a submissive wife and bring her back to vacuum. Facts. Romania. I'll have to hook up with Tate. I'm sure he could find one for me if I go to Romania. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. He's a bad guy. Bad man. Bad guy. Thank you, C-Sal. That's what's up. Let's go. All right, guys. Let me find somewhere to raid you to. Who's live? You guys want to go to Destiny's channel? I'm kidding. Unreasonable Man. Is he still live? Is he really live? Or because sometimes it says people are live and they're not live. Is Grid One live? Yeah, he's live. All right. The day shift. I'll send you over there. He's probably about to end though, because he was going before I started. So bad Tate, bad. Romanians are majority Orthodox, so I agree. I know. Romania, Ukraine, Russia. I'd take one from any of those places. Them Europeans, preferably she doesn't speak English. A hot blonde, Romanian, Ukrainian, Russian chick. Very submissive. They know how to do chores. Doesn't speak English. Ortho, Christian woman. Based. I'm with it. Let's go. All right, guys. Say what up to Grid One for me. He's probably going to be ending soon, though. I think he usually doesn't go this long. I don't know, though. But, and I will see you tomorrow for BK. God bless everybody. We out. She doesn't speak English. Yeah, I don't want to argue. I'm not trying to argue with a woman. I prefer not to, neither of us understand anything each other's saying. And I just point. I say, hey, point at the broom, point at the sink, point at the stove, and she says, all she needs to know how to say is, yes, sir. All right. See you guys later. God bless. We out. Peace.